Is coming to you live from Benab House, Atomic Junction, Medina. My name is Sherifatu Waiba. President Mahama has nominated 5 individuals to serve on Ghana's Fiscal Council to strengthen fiscal. In its business, Ghana's downstream petroleum sector recorded a strong expansion in 2025, signaling growing energy consumption and regional trade opportunities. And on the international front, the U.S. There's and many more stories coming up in the next few minutes.
Kuma is joined by Professor Opoku Assuming, who will serve as the representative from academia, bringing extensive experience in economic research and policy analysis. Also named is Leslie Dwight Mensah, who has been selected to represent a research think tank, adding a policy-oriented perspective to the council's work. J. Kweku Bedu Ado, a former public policy expert from the Finance Ministry, has also been nominated alongside Dr. Henry Akpenamawu Kofi Wampa, a former public policy expert from the Bank of Ghana.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has officially approved the grant of Damang mining lease to Engineers and Planners Limited (EP), concluding a high-stakes competitive bidding process designed to revitalize one of Ghana's most significant mineral assets. In a press release issued today, the Minister Emmanuel Ama Kofi Bua confirmed he had upheld the recommendation of a specialized tender committee which identified E&P as the most capable entity to extend the life of the Damang find beyond the next decade.
E&P emerged victorious from a pool of 4 companies that submitted bids by the 31st March deadline. According to the tender committee's report, E&P's proposal was the only one that fully satisfied the rigorous financial requirements, specifically demonstrating evidence of access to financing meeting the USD 500 million minimum threshold. The committee noted that E&P demonstrated superior technical knowledge of the Damang mine's unique geology and infrastructure, presenting a comprehensive plan to sustain operations for at least another 10 years. The selection process followed a strict 2-phase evaluation under LI 2176 and LI 2176. The initial mandatory requirements phase, which included valid tax, SNIT, and VAT clearances, as well as 100,000 Ghana cedis application fee, saw 2 firms immediately disqualified. Maripoma Mining Services Limited and Vortex Resources Mining Group were both declared non-responsive for failing to submit the necessary documentation. This left only E&P and Heath Goldfields Limited for the technical evaluation. However, Heath Goldfield failed to reach the finish line, falling short of the minimum qualifying technical score of 80%. Consequently, their financial proposal was never opened. The ministry's decision marks a pivotal movement for the Damang mine, which has long been a cornerstone of the local economy. By selecting a wholly owned Ghanaian company that met all international financing benchmarks, the government reiterated its commitment to both local content and industrial stability. The Minerals Commission has been directed to take all necessary regulatory steps immediately to give legal effect to the approval, ensuring a seamless transition and the commencement of the new 10-year development plan.
Now, moving on, the Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, has assured the public that government is taking swift action to address concerns at Abrigel Senior High School while outlining broader plans to tackle infrastructure challenges across the country.
Mr. Idrisu explained that the school authorities had already taken steps to manage the situation, particularly regarding faulty toilet facilities. Despite this assurance, the minister acknowledged the concerns of parents and students, noting that the issue could affect academic activities if not resolved quickly. He further assured that immediate steps are being taken to resolve the situation. Beyond the immediate response, Mr. Idrisu highlighted broader structural challenges facing the education sector, describing school infrastructure nationwide as being in dire state of requiring urgent attention. As part of longer-term measures, the minister reviewed plans to establish a technical committee and secure funding to respond more effectively to emergencies in schools. Mr. Idrisu also referred to ongoing efforts to improve facilities in girls' schools, including ICT projects with integral sanitation system, although he noted that some of these projects are yet to begin. In addition, the minister pointed to ongoing discussions to secure about $300 million from the World Bank to support infrastructure development in the education sector.
On this note, we go for a quick turn. We'll be back with business and more. Stay with us.
The Umma Show, definitely different.
Kingani. What you
I can't say mention it.
Kisha dan,
Why should you know now? Can't say back to school in the school when never.
A kowane lokaci aure ke zama shakatawa da zaman lafiya. Akan samun sabani da rashin fahimta da gaddama tsakanin ma'aurata. Wasu lokaci tarbiyyar da yara yana ya zama matsalar aure. Ku kasance tare da mu akan shirin darasin aure a yayin da muke zurfafa bincike akan kalubale da ma'aurata ke fuskanta da yadda za a magance su baki daya tun daga wahala har zuwa nasara. A wannan karo za mu kawo muku wani sabon salon akan shirin darasin aure kowace ranar Laraba karfe 4 da rana tare da ni Hajiya Munira Mahmud. Darasin aure headquarter duk lamuran aure duk baki daya.
You're welcome back. If you just tuned in, this is Baina Midday News on Baina TV, and we're streaming live on Facebook at Baina TV. Now let's move on to some business story. Ghana's downstream petroleum sector recorded a strong expansion in 2025, with total product supply and demand rising by 15% to 8.7 billion liters, signaling growing energy consumption and emerging regional trade opportunities. Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of oil marketing companies, COMAC, Dr. Riverson Opon disclosed this during the 2026 COMAC Safety Week, highlighting key industry trends shaping this sector.
According to him, total domestic consumption reached 7.45 billion litres, driven by demand from both transportation and electricity generation. However, domestic refinery output declined, with production falling by 11.3% year-on-year to about 500 million litres, underscoring Ghana's continued reliance on imports. Export of petroleum products to neighboring countries, particularly Burkina Faso and Mali, rose sharply by 25% to approximately 1 billion litres. Dr. Riverson Opon noted that this trend presents a strategic opportunity for Ghana to position itself as a regional supply hub, while urging regulators and the Ministry of Energy to approach the opportunity with caution. On product performance, petrol and diesel led the growth, recording increases of nearly 19% and 18% respectively. Liquefied petroleum gas consumption also expanded by 11%, reflecting sustained adoption across households and industry. The data further showed increased activities in the mining and power sectors, with gas oil for mines rising by about 16%. Fuel oil for power generation saw an exceptional spike of nearly 1,000%, while gas oil for power thermal generation to stabilize electricity supply. Marine gas oil foreign also rose significantly by 143%, although local MGO consumption declined by 61%. Dr. Riverson Opon also indicated that discrepancies in reported volumes estimated at about 1.99 million litres remain under review with regulators. He added that rising electric vehicle adoption could also shape future demand patterns, with 2025 recording the highest EV usage in the country to date, potentially influencing long-term petroleum consumption trends.
Now, moving on to some news beyond our borders, U.S. President Donald Trump said late Tuesday he is pulling back on his threats to launch devastating strikes on Iran, swerving to de-escalate the war less than 2 hours before the deadline he set for Tehran to capitulate or else a whole civilization will die tonight. Trump said he was holding off on his threatened attacks on Iranian bridges, power plants, and other civilian targets, subject to Tehran agreeing to a 2-week ceasefire and reopening the Straits of Hormuz.
Trump also said Iran has proposed a workable 10-point peace plan that could help end the war U.S. and Israel launched on February 28th. Iran's Supreme National Security Council said it has accepted a 2-week ceasefire in the war and it would negotiate with the United States in Islamabad beginning Friday. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said passage through the Strait of Hormuz would be allowed for the next 2 weeks under Iranian military agreement. It wasn't immediately clear whether that meant Iran will loosen its cockhold on the waterway crucial to global energy supplies. Since the war began on February 28, Trump has repeatedly backed off of deadlines just before they expire. In doing so again on Tuesday, Trump said he had come to the decision based on conversations with Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Jen. The president said in his social media post that Iran has presented a workable basis on which to negotiate.
Now, moving on to sports, CAF President Patrice Motsepe has arrived in Senegal to meet Senegalese government and football officials as he moves to quell tensions after the West African country was stripped of the AFCON 2025 title. Motsepe will meet Senegalese head of state Bassirou Diomaye Faye and Fédération Sénégalaise de Football Mr. Abdoulaye Faure on the working visit.
Mosepe will attempt to address concerns of bias and repair the breaking relationship with Senegal after continent football governing body stripped Senegal of the AFCON 2025 title. CAF decision on March 17, CAF awarded a 3-0 victory to Morocco following a decision by its appeal jury concerning the AFCON final involving Senegal. CAF upheld an appeal filed by the Fédération Royale Marocaine de Football in relation to the